Hi, I'm Liliana, Corporate Communications here at Human Resources Mexico. And to this a client notification for gross versus net by Marisol Perez, Human Resources and Payroll Manager here at Human Resources Mexico.
Well, you know what a great introduction. Liliana, that's why she's the corporate communications person. This is Franklin, General Manager and Principal, Human Resources Mexico. You know, Marisol has almost 7 years as Payroll and Human Resource Manager at Human Resources Mexico, so she understands like the back of her hand all of this. Marisol, in a few moments, is going to do a visual presentation on the net versus gross on the non-tax deductible expenses on the invoices, because this does cause some confusion for the client. And I also would ask you as the client to go back and look at the client notification in regards to the changes in the regulatory and rules with SAT, the tax authority in here in Mexico, as far as tax deductible invoices and things like that. This is what really started this whole conversation. So just to really give you a brief summary of what Marisol is going to go over here shortly with the visual presentation she's going to give, is let's say, for example, there is a $1,000 expense that is considered non-tax deductible in Mexico. It is very important for you as a client to know that non-tax deductible expenses cost you a lot of money, okay? A lot, okay? You don't want non-tax deductible expenses. You want to avoid them like the plague, all right? And I'll tell you why. You're going to take the $1,000 non-tax deductible expense, which would be considered the net, okay? The net of what the employee is going to have to be reimbursed. But since it's non-tax deductible in the law, in the eyes of the law here in Mexico, it's considered compensation. So there you go. You take the $1,000 net non-tax deductible expense. We have to gross it up so that the employee pays the income taxes and the employer, us, pay the employer taxes. And of course we have our admin fee. I mean, let's keep everything on the table, transparent. And all of a sudden, so now you have the $1,000 grossed up to $1,500, and that's just a number I'm throwing out, grossed up to $1,500, so the employee receives the net of $1,000, and then you get charged the total cost markup factor on top of it. Not a good idea. This is one reason Marisol is going to do the visual presentation so that you can see with your eyes how these things are calculated, so that you can work with us, work with Human Resources Mexico, to ensure that the tax or the expenses are tax deductible and not non-tax deductible. Because keep one thing in mind. If it's a tax deductible expense, you get billed at a one factor, one. There are no fees, there's no administrative fees, there's no handling fees, there's no charges. If it's $1,000 expense, your invoice is going to show $1,000 with the documentation to go along with that expense, whether it's a copy of the airline ticket, the hotel. You will always receive original documentation from the suppliers to substantiate the charges that we're putting on our invoices. So with that said, Marisol, why don't you go ahead and start with the visual presentation so that our clients understand exactly how non-tax deductible expenses are grossed up and marked up, right?
Yeah.
Excellent.
Right.
Let's do it.
Go.
Thank you, Marisol.
Here we are. Okay, first we are starting off by calculating the income tax on the regular salary, as you can see here on the screen. Okay, let's suppose your employee earns 30,000 pesos monthly. Okay, here in cell B55, it will be shown the income tax that we should hold. Okay, and here we have the net. This is the net your employee should take home in his regular salary. Okay, then we are going to worksheet number 2, that is called income tax grossing up. Okay, first we need to type manually the salary that your employee earns regularly, in this case 30,000. You need to type it twice here in the in cell D42 and in cell B42. Okay, and then let's suppose your employee sent an expense, non-deductible expense of 2,000 pesos. In cell B63, you need to sum up manually the regular net plus the non-deductible expense. So here you have the figure we will grossing up. We are looking for. Okay. Please go to cell B61 and then we are going to data, what if, goal seek. The value that we are looking for is and then by changing cell B42, then you just click OK, and there you go. In cell F42, you will see the gross up figure. Okay, there you go. So please keep in mind that we are going to apply the markup factor on this grossed up amount. Okay, if you have any additional questions, do not hesitate to contact us by sending an email to support@expandmexico.com.